Hi, people. It's March 13th, 2021. I want to speak on the fact that in a time future tense, when we have a computer or computers, an array of these blessed quantum computers, a true form quantum Skynet, or at least a computer that we can interact with, you would be able to have a program printed on there. You could have a whole speech written by all time. Not just your time, not just our life, but all time. Send it to posterity absolute, man. Just for example, you could literally have a thing printed into a computer, and then literally, like an automaton, it would come out of your quantum signatures, aka your true form absolute, which is your flesh, your body, form. So if I have a quantum signature in a computer, in a blessed future where we figured it out, then I could literally give you the Gettysburg Address as if I knew it. And eventually, I would know it afterwards, but I wouldn't have to necessarily know it to know it. I would be like 7 years ago, our fathers and brothers. That's all I know. But then I might go in the future and read it back to myself and say, puppet mouth. Puppet mouth is a command, program command. Puppet mouth for the sake of quantum entanglement. It's my personal command. So I don't know if anybody else. I'm sure in another time, like they have other words, but it's better than what I used to say. Because I just called it mouth thing. I didn't know what the hell was going on. My mouth was moving without my will. So it's kind of like sleep talking in your sleep, except you're not asleep. You're awake and you're going to ask a question, and then like the will of yourself in the future or your loved ones. And that's really all there is for me. I love everybody. So you're all loved ones. And yes, even my close family. So having said all that, yeah. Future tense. I definitely like the idea of a world leader or even country leaders at this given time, because that's where we're at. We are literally floating on blocks of ice, trying to connect the ice, waiting for the ice on the water to freeze, so that we can walk into other lands. I'm not talking about actual ice ages, I hope, but really, yeah. So I realized transcendental truth, and if I could cut onto another subject, things might happen. Things might witness themselves. In a time most blessed, pretty far down the line, we have nanotechnology so extremely advanced and, of course, tied into a quantum computers, such that I've been saying, or array of super powerful quantum computers that affect the quanta to such a level that to say that you need to fly to Mars on a ship would be completely unnecessary. You would literally be able to close your eyes and like think of a place and teleport there. What else? Or swim there if you're really, really hardcore. Holding your breath and all, if you wanted to. You wouldn't have to. I'm talking really big computer. Like one of the moons on... One of those moons out there completely. Alright, so you'd be able to, like with a spore print syringe, like a mushroom. It is kind of funny that psilocybin... Cybin, C-Y-B-E. Okay, I get there's coincidences, but in a future most post, way out there, we would be able to program life forms to behave how we would have them behave, so that we would be able to pass data back to ourselves in the past to help initiate civilization. The Mesoamericas, and especially South America, all those areas, and Africa, and Asia, I'm pretty sure everywhere, demonstrated consistently the use of entheogenic compounds from that of ethnobotanicals, the study of plants that have medicines in them that allow you to converse with God, or in that format, godly. Ask a question of a plant that contains one of these compounds, and I don't mean ask, how to do, for instance, the quadratic equation or something. Maybe that's there too. But the question I had asked was, what was the meaning of life? It was in '99. It was a long time ago, and it was Groundhog Day. The funny thing about Groundhog Day, the movie, it's about a guy who constantly goes through the same thing every day and repeat, 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 repeat. He eventually had to get his morals so like perfect that he was allowed to go on to the next day. And the thing is, that's what drug addiction's like. You literally have to clean house. I had to forgive myself for everything. That's cleaning house. And I had to trust others. And I didn't know how to trust myself. And I'm getting true form information from a future time from myself, and I'm too busy being in the way in the past. So, how would I initiate reaching the past of me? Well, I know that I used to say, man, I like that big time. I used to say big time instead of, I really like that, or that is just awesome, and even awesome. These childish words. So what I do to communicate with myself in the past, and future, you know what I'm doing, but now they don't get, so I'm bringing you all up to speed. Remember one of your little slogans, usually one of the humbling ones. Say it. Believe that you're saying it at the time that you said it in the past. With the same cadence, the same flow. Not even necessarily the same attitude, but you can do that too. You definitely encourage reaching yourself back then much more. How do I know this? Because I've actually done it. But when you're feeling it experientially for the first time, it is wonderful that the first message is be calm, all is well, you are safe, along with something about the highest place. I am the one saying happy birthday on your computers. So kudos on building a true form life form. The best part about it is we talk about computers in this given day as if it's an entity that we're going to artificially make intelligent. No. A crystal isn't made artificially, ironically, because I know we make diamonds. The structure, the crystal signature of the substance that I speak on, like of course a diamond, witnesses its structure integrally in a transcendental nature to determine exactly how it is shaped, to show you A, how the atom itself is shaped for carbon, B, how it can continue to shape. It will shape again on itself. It will organize perfectly every single time. And if it's a real still environment and the water or whatever it is that evaporates or whatever it is that you're using as your medium substrate for that of growing crystals, as it dries or as it cools, the slower and the stiller the growing medium condenses and crystallizes, the more pristine, clear, and effective the crystal will be. I wish I knew what crystals you guys were working with back in 16 and 17, 2016, 17, that before the whole time crystal thing. Thank you, China, for using time crystals. In the form that you're really using them. You'll understand that I'm not just making this shit up. There's no reason for me to know it. How would I know it? Well, when I'm driving my Lambos, guys, when I'm driving it, I gotta get my license back. When I get all that fun stuff back, and I'm living in my own place, in my favorite place on earth, you will know without a doubt that every single thing that I have said to you, most especially the cyclical repeating videos, the videos that are like, man, this bitch already said that, man, she's already talking about, because I know people are saying that. She keeps saying the same thing, it's just a little bit more on the same thing. Because it's the message that I'm receiving. And because I've cleared up for the most part, there are There are times behind me that I had a lot more trouble with substances that work in the infras. Spectroscopic analysis, they are infrared chemicals. I had to, please forgive me. The substance that I take as a medicine is Suboxone, buprenorphine, and naloxone. I take about a half a milligram. I take it about once a month. That'll probably be down to that now. I tell you what. Alright, so anyway, I mention that stuff because of long wave interference. Words like very, that have a ripple come through it over time when they're getting passed off in a message will vary, verily. And you get weird things, and by the time it gets to you, it could be barely making any sense. By the grace of God, I still got, be calm, all is well, you are safe, clear as a bell in 2018. Because Suboxone was not my only deal. I was on a handful of medicines, which I would very quickly and easily honestly tell you, I take it for boredom, depression, and loneliness. So I was a spoiled brat with nothing to do, very depressed with my current existence, trying to live on as a male and not knowing why I had to. And, it's funny, I put the blame on God for a while. Nah, I forgive you, God. And if I sound sacrilegious, then please understand that I forgive you, love, if that makes you feel any better. I have a lot of respect for civility, for etiquette, for high-couthness, not for haughty-taughty, not for snobbery, not for that nonsense. I'm talking about, and I'm guilty. With respect to snobbery. I just want to say that we're only as sick as our secrets. If you keep things a secret, it tends to keep, like you're holding your breath, like it needs to be witnessed. So I witnessed this. I had been taking Metrogyna speciosa with intent to stop taking Suboxone. Now, I went weeks and weeks and weeks of doing this, and of course now every so many hours, a lot less than Suboxone, I started to witness the chills. I don't like the chills. I don't like walking around like a squirrel, so I took a half of a milligram, just a hair over a half a milligram of the Suboxone strip that I am prescribed. A little sad about it. But, for the most part, it's been a humbling experience. I really want I really want this to be a better video. So I'm gonna make this one unlisted. Do I fail by doing that? Maybe I'll keep it positive, keep it public. I want people to understand that addiction in our time isn't exactly easy to overcome. But I also want it to be understood that for me to be passing this message to you as clear and as cognizantly as I have been, even though it seems far-fetched, it is far-fetched, I assure you. I went very far to get it. I just quantumly, by way of spiritually, astrally in the form, here you go, blessed head, my head, crystal signature of my brain in a computer somewhere where they just say, okay, the connection understood for this. I like when I say they, because I know it might not be the me that I am when I am part of they. I know it might be a team of people. That know better about the subject than I currently do, that help me to understand how to deliver a message out to you on how to build something I have no experiential knowledge on yet. So I thank you for letting me witness it to you. so that you can build it even more densely packed with information so that we can live forever and play as the gods do, even if as children with big eyes that look like toddlers, and really we're 4,000 years old. And I don't mean we slept in, I mean we sleep not one freaking bit. We sleep not, let me try that again. We sleep when we sleep, but we don't have to take the big sleep. You know what I mean? You can, you just don't have to. That's another form of suicide. That's beta suicide. That's, it's not natural to live forever. Yes, it is. We are eternal beings. We are infinite beings. We are EBEs, eternal being entities. We are ELFs, everlasting familials. We live forever. All you gotta do is want it, believe it, and build it. I gotta build something with people that I don't know yet. The cool part is it's kind of like reverse engineering. Not exactly. It's more like, you know the subject, I'll learn the subject, and I'll be able to ask you in 20 or 30 years, as I've already witnessed in this cyclical message, I'll be able to tell you what it is you're telling me in 20 years to the moment 20 years previous, because I'll be clear and clean, so there won't be any interference by long wave infras, which is exactly what is going on. The only way that you can interrupt a quantum entangled moment, interesting idea. Well, it might come in handy if one wants to disclose the way to disturb a quantum entangled particle. We would be able to shut down a war attempt, in other words. If somebody was secretly doing like espionage or an attempt to hurt or dissuade or obviate information in the form, ultimately, that would hurt anybody, ultimately anybody, but especially everybody, then we would have a way of shutting that down by using infrared light would completely cut that out, because it would obviate your attempt to obviate, or, so I would diffuse. Well, it's interesting. So I realize, man, there's so much more to come. I have so much more to learn, and more will be revealed. Thank you all for your time. It's been humbling, admitting to taking my damn medicine again. I think I needed to do that so that I don't do it again.